How does climate change affect biodiversity? Climate is an important environmental influence on ecosystems. Changing climate affects ecosystems in a variety of ways. For instance, warming may force species to migrate to higher latitudes or higher elevation, where temperatures are more conducive to their survival. Similarly, as sea level rises, saltwater intrusion into a freshwater system may force some key species to relocate or die, thus removing predators or prey that are critical in the existing food chain. Climate change not only affects ecosystems and species directly, it also interacts with other human stressors such as development. Although some stressors cause only minor impacts when acting alone, their cumulative impact may lead to dramatic ecological changes. For instance, climate change may exacerbate the stress that land development places on the fragile coastal areas. Additionally, recently log forested areas may become vulnerable to erosion if climate change leads to increases in heavy rainstorms. The threat posed by climate change to biodiversity is expected to increase. Yet, thriving ecosystems also have the capacity to help reduce the impacts of climate change. If current rates of warming continue by 2030, global temperatures could increase by more than 1.5 degrees Celsius compared to before the Industrial Revolution. A major impact of climate change on biodiversity is the increase in the intensity and frequency of fires. Storms of periods of drought in Australia at the end of 2019 and start of 2020, 97,000 kilometers squared of forest and surrounding habitats were destroyed by intense fires that are now known to have been made worse by climate change. This adds to the threat to biodiversity, which has already been placed under stress by other human activities. It is thought that the number of threatened species in the area may have increased by 14% as a result of the fires. Rising global temperatures also have the potential to alter ecosystems over longer periods by changing what can grow and live within evidence to suggest that reduction in water vapor in the atmosphere since the 1990s has resulted in 59% of vegetated areas showing pronounced browning and reduced growth rates worldwide. Rising temperatures in the ocean affects marine organisms. Corals are particularly vulnerable to rising temperatures, and ocean acidification can make it harder for shellfish and corals in the upper ocean to form shells and hard skeletons. We have also been changes in occurrence of marine algae blooms. Despite the threats posed by climate change to biodiversity, we also know that natural habitats play an important role in regulating climate and can help to absorb and store carbon. Mangroves are significant sinks for carbon, and Amazon is one of the most biologically diverse places on the planet and is an enormous store of carbon up to 100 billion tons. Although a recent study has suggested the Amazon may now be emitting more carbon that it absorbs, safeguarding these natural carbon sinks from further damage is an important part of the meeting climate change. 6 things you can do to prevent climate change. Climate change has already begun to impact our planet in more ways than we can think. Temperatures continue to rise throughout the planet, and we are experiencing changes in precipitation patterns as we have never seen before. The main cause of these catastrophic effects on our planet is pollution. Fortunately, there are always things that we can do to fight against climate change. Saving the environment starts with us, and it is our responsibility to act against these terrible changes to preserve the planet for future generations. First, make your commute green. Billions of people drive to work every day. It is simply unavoidable in our modern day society. However, the downside to this is that millions of cars emit greenhouse gases that destroy our atmosphere. Vehicles emissions are a close second when it comes to the top causes of climate change. There are always other options that you can utilize to make your commute to work eco-friendly. For starters, taking public transportation to work is a great way to cut out emissions. Riding your bike to work is also incredibly helpful to the environment. It's a great method to get exercise. Second, be more conservative with energy usage. Becoming more energy efficient is a great way to prevent pollution. It causes the power plants to expend less energy that can lead to the production of gases. This means that you should do what you can to cut down on energy usage in your household. Make sure to turn off lights and unplug devices that you are not using anymore when you are done with them. Replace your light bulbs with the energy efficient light bulbs to help save electricity too. Third, get active and vote. One of the best ways to improve climate change to is to help those who will fight against it get into office. This means voting for legislation and politicians that aid against the detrimental effects of climate change. Many corporations have politicians on their payroll and use them to lobby against legislation that would require more regulations against them. Voting the right people into office will help pass legislation that allows us to fight against these corporations that are mainly to blame for climate change. Fourth, recycle. Manufacturing plants emit a large number of greenhouse gases per year. It is unavoidable in the production of goods that we use on a regular basis. However, a cleaner alternative would be to invest in recycling. Recycling is a cost effective and eco friendly process that eliminates waste and doesn't emit greenhouse gases into environment. Be sure to collect your discarded paper, glasses, plastic, and electronics to your local recycling center. The professional will take these items to a processing plant where they will be remade into the recyclable materials again. Fifth, educate yourself and others. The importance of educating others about climate change cannot be overstated in our modern society. There are many platforms for us to utilize that can allow us to spread our message easily. Whether you use word of mouth of social media, there are always ways to educate others on what climate change is doing to our planet. You can help protect the climate by educating others about the dangers of climate change and how to act against it. Six, encourage the use of renewable energies, focusing your efforts to spread awareness about renewable energy is the best way to create a positive impact in your community. By informing others about how renewable energy is better than utilizing fossil fuels, you will sway others into investing in the idea. Thank you.